Alright guys, so it is time for another prediction video and we got a virgin today. Mark's gonna do it with me and Mark. So we got Brian from Big Papa Gaming and Mark, or LilC I should say, from Mark Rangley's channel. So
What's up,
the gang's all here. So we're gonna talk about Fastlane, which is probably gonna be one of the most boring pay-per-view you're gonna see this year. As far as I think.
I also think that with WrestleMania coming up, it's probably one of the more predictable ones as well.
Yeah, it would be a pretty bad move to change any titles because all their matches are already set for WrestleMania.
So I don't know if you remember, years ago they used to do it like at the Elimination Chamber pay-per-view, which was, you know, when there was one brand, it was Elimination Chamber fell between the Rumble and WrestleMania. Yeah. And they would change titles at Elimination Chamber consistently.
Yeah.
Like for a good 2-3 years in a row, they changed, you know, championships, which, you know, but then you also didn't have matches set up for WrestleMania yet. You didn't know who was going to do what.
Yeah. This week they set up like almost all the Raw match.
Yeah.
They set up
Raw doesn't have a pay-per-view coming up either, so.
Yeah. But they decided to do it fast. But anyway, after Fastlane, we're pretty much going to be set as to what we're going to see, at least most of the matches. I don't think they're going to announce a lot of last minute, except maybe like Jeff Hardy coming back, and it's probably going to be a surprise because he's not injured anymore.
Yeah, they also might have like 1 or 2 matches during the pre-show.
Yeah, probably.
Haven't been announced yet.
Like I know that after WrestleMania, they're adding a new title. They're creating the tag team title for the Cruiserweight.
Really?
Yeah.
I didn't realize
right after WrestleMania.
Yeah, I didn't realize the Cruiserweight division was that big yet.
Well, it's part of the Triple H revamp of 205 since he's in charge now.
Yeah, all the Cruiserweights are on Raw. So you're really just adding another title to Raw at that point.
Yeah, well, they're on Raw, but technically they're on 205 Live.
Right, they're technically on 205, but they're on Raw.
Yeah, but it's basically just a title for them. So, if we go down the card, let's start by the latest match that was added, which is Becky Lynch and Naomi versus Carmella and I just have Natasha and Natalya.
I think that's going to be a snooze fest of a match.
Yeah, honestly. Probably. I mean,
that's going to be the match where I go up and get my lunch ready for work for the next day, and maybe do the dishes or. Probably
going to be the first match. I mean, obviously they're all good to do matches, but there's no story there. So it's last minute thrown in because they needed matches because there's barely anything on the card.
Agreed.
Yeah, it's like a live show match.
Yeah. So I mean, I'm guessing this one is probably going to go with Natalya and Carmella just because Natalya can't win anything. So.
Well, I'm going to go the other way. I would guess Becky's and Naomi going to win it just because Natalya can't win anything.
Yeah, well, they're not giving Natalya anything ever since she lost the belt. The only reason I would see Becky and Naomi wins is because they're giving Becky a small push because of the WWE Network special they did with her. Mm-hmm. They released that last week, and they've been pushing her since she's getting the views.
I'm going with the fan favorites on this one.
Yeah,
for sure.
The only reason I'm not, I want the fan favorite to go with Naomi and Becky. The only reason I'm thinking they're gonna go with the other team is because it's been a long time since they gave Natalya anything.
Yeah, but Naomi and Becky are better looking, so gotta go with them.
I can't stand the cat gimmick for Natalya. It's so dude, you're like 36.
Yeah,
she's pushing 40 and she still plays with the cat ears like she's a kid. It's ridiculous. It takes out all the.
I see my 9-year-olds walking around with that in school.
Yeah, it takes all the seriousness out of her character. I mean, try to be a heel with those things on and have anyone scared of you. All right, second match. Charlotte versus Ruby Riott.
First of all, I don't even know where this Ruby Riott came from. She's like, she doesn't excite me at all.
She's boring.
I can't stand her her on the mic. I can't stand her in the ring, and I really feel like the Riot Squad is just a ripoff of Absolution.
Yeah, well, they both exactly came the same week with the exact same gimmick.
So it's
and
like,
she's like a cheap Paige.
yeah.
Can you get cheaper than Paige?
Yeah.
I was trying to leave that comment.
I should say she's the PG Paige.
And you know what? Like, I don't know why any woman in the world, and if there are women watching this, and I hope you are, I don't know why anybody would think that the way Ruby Riott dresses or looks with all those nasty piercings and the nasty tattoos on the side of her face, that doesn't look good, women. I'm sorry.
Well, I'm sure some people do. But,
Well,
I think this one, I'm actually not sure. I would think that Charlotte's going to keep it. The only thing that makes me think maybe she won't is the fact that they're pushing the Riot Squad and there's no match at WrestleMania for Charlotte.
Right, so Charlotte's rematch could be the WrestleMania match where she would take the title back.
Yeah, but I think she's going to keep it still.
Asuka, personally.
Well, Asuka's already announced that she's going to be facing
Alexa. Yeah. So we know.
We all thought that was actually a big prediction going around that she would want the more competitive match against Charlotte.
Yeah.
But she ended up choosing Alexa. Although we never actually heard it from Asuka, we just heard people say that it's official.
Like Stephanie said it and everything.
Right.
So. I mean, maybe they're gonna have Asuka face both at WrestleMania, one after the other. Like she could say, "I never said that was my title match. You just gave me this one."
Well, I could also another thing that I could see happening this Sunday is I could see Carmella getting involved with that briefcase.
Yeah, it would be about time.
She's held it longer than I think almost anybody. I think the only other person to hold it as long was Edge, the first one.
Yeah.
For 10 months.
Then again, if she doesn't have the briefcase anymore, she's not Miss Money in the Bank anymore. What the hell is she?
She's the princess from Staten Island.
Yeah.
And guys, I'm from New York. Mark is from New York. You know what Staten Island is?
Isn't that?
It's a garbage dump.
Yeah, well, I was about to say, ain't that like New Jersey's piece of crap or something like that?
It's the armpit of New Jersey.
Yeah.
But no, literally, there is a garbage dump on Staten Island. That's it.
Yeah. Well, isn't there where there was a carnival or something?
I don't know, but there's a garbage dump. Like you drive on the highway.
You mean Coney Island?
Oh, Coney Island, yeah.
So that's Coney Island. That's in Brooklyn. Staten Island is a garbage dump, and if you drive through Staten Island to get to New Jersey, you smell the garbage dump with your windows closed.
What a great spot! So, but yeah,
people live there. People live there.
I think Charlotte's going to keep the belt.
I agree.
But I'm pretty sure we're going to get a rematch at WrestleMania or something like that.
Something's going to happen at WrestleMania.
Yeah. Well, they need to revamp the... I mean, there's great rivalries, stories, and everything for the females on Raw, and there ain't shit on SmackDown.
Well, my opinion was this. If you're going to put all the cruiserweights on Raw, then you should put all the women on SmackDown.
Yeah.
And this way you have one woman's belt, you have more chances for rivalries. You know, Absolution and the Riot Squad can feud with each other because they're both trying to be the exact same thing.
Yeah, they were actually thinking in bringing more women and adding a tag team title for women.
They haven't had a women's tag team title in over 20 years. And even when they had a women's tag title 20 years ago, they didn't have a belt.
Yeah, well, right now there's no point because there's like not even 10 of each on.
Right, there's like 7 of each on each show.
Yeah, so like there's no point. But then again, I mean, there's 7 of them, but it's not like they have 4 matches on the show either. So half of them never do anything.
Right.
So I don't know what they're going to do with that, but it's probably boring for them when they don't do anything. Third match, the Usos versus New Day for the 20th time.
And you know what? Every single pay-per-view where they go at it, it's the best match on the show.
Yeah, it is always a good match, but I'm getting bored of that match.
Yeah, so I wouldn't even know. They seem to be going back and forth with each other. So I could see the New Day taking the titles back and then having the rematch at WrestleMania as well.
SmackDown is severely lacking in tag teams. There's barely any tag teams other than
What
those
is
two.
there?
Like
Heath Slater and Rhino on
Gable
Raw,
and
right?
Benjamin, right?
you got the you
Gable and
got
Benjamin.
you got like the Bash Brothers. That's about it. Like there's 4 teams.
Oh, the Harper and Rowan, right?
Yeah, which they're barely doing anything with them anyway.
Yeah, they gave them this huge push, like this huge, like, oh, let's bring them out, and then
They have them facing jobbers.
yeah. Well, the tag team division in general in wrestling is not what it used to be. I can remember back to when I was a kid, where you had the Hart Foundation, you had Strike Force, you had Demolition, you had all these tag teams.
Yeah, even during Attitude, I mean, with the Hardys, Edge and Christian, the Dudleys, there was plenty of them.
Yeah.
Not that much anymore.
Well, the Hardys are still around.
Yeah. Well, Jeff's coming back, so it's
Hopefully.
to see if they're bringing him back as Jeff Hardy or as Brother Nero.
Well, you already broke out the Woken character in Matt Hardy, so
Yeah, and there's rumor that he's gonna come either at WrestleMania or he's gonna come during the compound match at the Hardy domain.
oh, okay.
It might be because he was cleared this week by his doctors, and he just needs the okay from the WWE doctors, which should be pretty simple to get at this point. If he was,
I don't know.
cleared.
Daniel Bryan's been waiting on that for 2 years.
Yeah, yeah, but in this case, it's the only reason they don't want to give him is because of the concussion, and they're on a big lawsuit. So it's not
Right.
that they can't clear him; is that they don't want to risk it. They don't want to risk it affecting their lawsuit.
Makes sense.
I still think the New Day is going to come out and they're going to New Orleans as champs. I see that right here in my mind. I see them coming out as champs.
I also think they're gonna win this because it's gonna be New Orleans. They are gonna be partying like crazy in there. They're probably gonna have one hell of a huge entrance with a bunch of
Lots of
people
pancakes.
with them. So they gotta have the belt on them when they come out. And we're probably gonna get another rematch between those two at WrestleMania anyway.
Yeah.
It's probably gonna be the same match again at WrestleMania.
Yeah, I mean, the only thing is, I feel like WrestleMania is like, what is it? It's the Super Bowl of wrestling. It's the World Series of wrestling, whatever you want to call it.
Yep.
There should be no regular matches. Like everything should be some type of like a stipulation match or like.
Well, we
I
know.
mean, I guess theoretically you could say if it's a tag title match, well, that's your stipulation. The titles are on the line.
Yeah. Well, there's one type of match we're not gonna see, and that's a first blood match, because blood's been banned in Louisiana.
Yes.
They banned both blood and pile drivers in Louisiana a couple weeks
Well, pile
ago.
drivers the WWE got rid of a long time ago after.
Well, except Taker with his tombstone.
But that's not an actual pile driver.
Well, it's still banned because it's a tombstone pile driver.
So that's why Taker's not wrestling this year.
Well, he could be, but he's not gonna do this finisher, or they're gonna take the fine.
Right. They may just do that.
After that, another match that was thrown in last minute without a story: Shinsuke versus Rusev.
That's a filler right there. And the thing is, I hate to sound cliche, but I can't see Rusev losing on Rusev Day.
Well, I can't see Shinsuke losing because he's going to WrestleMania.
Yeah, I can't see Shinsuke losing to Rusev.
They
all
can't make him lose.
aside,
He's got to look strong for WrestleMania.
right.
Absolutely.
I mean, all kidding aside, Rusev Day it's a great gimmick, but it's just that.
Yeah. Well, he's very over with the fan, but they're still not pushing him with wins. Well, with meaningful wins.
Well, it's kind of like the Big Show was early in his career. The Big Show was like this huge guy who was huge, can't be beaten, and then you saw him losing to Hurricane on Raw.
Yeah.
So Rusev was like the same thing. When he first came out, he was undefeated. He couldn't be beaten. It took John Cena choking him out with the ring rope. In case you forgot about that, for his first defeat. And even then, they claimed that he didn't lose because of whatever. I mean, it took a lot to get him to lose. And then now it's like he's losing everybody.
Yeah. So I think this one's gonna be Shinsuke's win.
Oh yeah, it's definitely gonna be Nakamura.
What you think, Mark?
Yeah, I think he's definitely going to win. I mean, there's no way they're making him lose. Shinsuke all the way. We'll just hope that we're going to get a good match. We're going to get quality entertainment. We've got a lot of matches on this card that are subpar, so we got to have something entertaining. So, hopefully he'll put on a hell of a performance. That's all we could wish for.
Yep. Next match. Bobby Roode versus Orton, which I was pretty convinced we would turn up into a three-way with Jinder as well.
Jinder, yeah.
But somehow they didn't think so.
Well, my prediction for this match is the match is going to end in a no contest as a result of outside interference by Jinder.
Yeah.
Which is going to cause a triple threat match at WrestleMania.
That would be my call as well, because there's nothing lined up for Jinder. Again, I don't think they would strip the belt out of anyone just before WrestleMania.
He just got the belt. Like, Bobby Roode literally just got the belt.
Yeah. It's still been like 1 or 2 months, I think.
I think a little over a month.
Yeah. But yeah.
Sometime in January.
I don't think he's losing that belt.
No, definitely not.
And the final match, which is another one that we know is not going to change.
I'm tending to disagree on that one, actually.
You think they're going to take the belt off AJ?
I do.
Yeah.
I really do. I do think they're going to take the belt off of AJ. I just think they want John Cena is looking for that road to WrestleMania. The Undertaker is done. Like, let's be completely realistic. Undertaker is done.
I'm sure he's still going to be there.
Yeah.
They would never dare to mention the match if there was no way it was coming. I mean, just the fact that they mentioned it brought every fan that didn't think that it was going to happen started believe that it may. It would be suicidal not to make it.
Having the Undertaker lose to Roman Reigns last year was supposedly a passing of the torch.
Yeah.
So how could you pass the torch and then come back and do it again the next year?
Oh, yeah, well, storyline wise, it doesn't make sense. But
so I really think we've seen the Undertaker. He's done. He's not coming back, and I do think they're gonna let Cena break Ric Flair's record, go on to WrestleMania. AJ will win it back in a triple threat match. No.
Yeah.
After watching that match at SmackDown with John Cena beating AJ, it gave me a lot of confidence that they were going to change it up. And of course, because they always love showing records being broken in WWE, they always love doing it. I think that they're going to give him a push and they're going to give him the win. And then we'll see what happens at WrestleMania, triple threat or not triple threat. But I'm going to go with the prediction that John Cena is going to win it also.
I think that AJ is going to retain because Cena's definitely going to face the Undertaker at WrestleMania.
I mean, trust me, I would much rather see Cena Undertaker. The only way I could see Cena not winning the title is if Undertaker comes out and causes him to not win the title.
I was surprised a little that they had Sami Zayn turn against KO at SmackDown.
I wasn't shocked at all because they're setting that up for WrestleMania.
Yeah, well, I knew it was coming, but I thought it was going to happen during the match at Fastlane, not on SmackDown.
Well, they couldn't do it during the match on Fastlane because then Sami Zayn would be the champion.
Yeah, but he could have turned on him and still failed to get the belt.
Yeah, but could they possibly have a Sami Zayn Kevin Owens match in WrestleMania when there's so many matches already?
Oh yeah,
It's
a 5-hour show.
It's WrestleMania is much longer.
It's 5.
It's a 5-hour show.
Yeah, you basically forget your day that day. That's all that's gonna happen. It's a long show. To a wrestling
fan, this is bigger than the Super Bowl. So
yeah, it's gonna be a long show
with the pre-show and everything.
Yeah, it's gonna be a long weekend because there's the award the previous day, and there's gonna be the NXT takeover as well on Saturday.
We got a group of guys from Execution who are actually meeting up in New Orleans for WrestleMania.
That's sick.
They're gonna have fun.
I would have been right there with them if I didn't have to go back to work the next day.
Yeah, That's a pretty expensive trip, I'm sure.
Oh, I'm sure between the flights and the hotels and the tickets for the show,
Yeah.
talking about easily $2,000 for the weekend.
How much you think that decent seats are at WrestleMania?
Well, they paid $450, but that was just for the show ticket. But I think that also included Takeover and Raw.
Yeah. Oh, they do have Raw there too.
Yeah, they have Takeover and Raw.
You would have think they would have made SmackDown as well.
It might be there, but they're not going.
Yeah. So. All right. So
and then they have the flight, the hotel. I mean, I was looking at SummerSlam tickets last year for decent seats, and that's SummerSlam at Brooklyn, not at the Superdome.
Yeah.
And that was, I think, about $300 a ticket.
Jeez.
It wasn't cheap.
Yeah. That's pretty expensive.
And I'm looking at the SummerSlam tickets for this year as well, but I went to buy them and they were sold out already.
Yeah, it's pretty fun to see a show live. The only thing I don't like is pretty much like when you go see a sports game, you don't have the commentary.
Yeah, but you know what? I go to a lot of sports games. I like wrestling. You know, when Mark and I went to that show back in December, that was great. And we were sitting in the fourth row.
Yeah, it's all about the view. If you have a shitty view, then there's no point in it's better to watch it on TV. But if you have the ability to get good seats and see them up close, to see how big they are and to see them really in action, like right in front of you, is amazing. You can't describe the feeling. Yeah. It's a rush.
Yeah, I mean, we could literally see the sweat dripping down their backs. That's how close we were.
Nice. And the last show I went was over 20 years ago.
Wow.
That's been a while. I was literally standing on my chair. I was third row from the ring, second seat from where they come in.
Oh, that's awesome.
So I was standing on my seat when Undertaker and Kane passed, and they were still taller than I was on my seat.
I'm sure.
That was pretty impressive. You could touch to them when they were passing by, because it was a house show as well, so it had narrower entrance. Back then you didn't have the whole pyro and the big screen just for house show like they do.
Well, they don't do that. Like at the small venue we went to, there was no pyros, there was no big screen. You know, I don't even think there was no cameras, so they weren't recording anything.
Yeah, you didn't even have a screen like with their videos playing when they were coming down the ramp or something?
Yeah, they had that, but they didn't have like the Titantron like they normally do.
Yeah. All right. Well, that's pretty much sums it up as far as the card goes for Fastlane. Again, I don't expect it's going to be a pay-per-view that's going to drop anyone down their seat. Probably going to be boring as fuck. But we got to go through it to know what's going to happen to SmackDown. Not SmackDown, but to WrestleMania. So hopefully we got some of these wrong, so some excitement is brought back from the show. But I'm not keeping my hopes up for this one.
This one was pretty mixed. We had a lot of differences of opinion on these matches.
Yeah.
Also, Mark, you said you were going to be doing a live stream after the show?
Yes. Yeah, so if everyone wants to join and discuss the event, and hopefully it will be some memorable things like my man KO doing something special.
Yeah.
Oh, he's going to do something special, but he's not going to be winning the title.
He's not going to win, no.
He will do something special. There's going to be a huge blowout between him and Sammy. That's for sure.
Yeah. It's going to set up the match that they're going to do here in May when they're coming in Montreal.
Oh, man.
In May for Raw and SmackDown. They got to have a match, KO versus Sammy.
Oh, they have to.
Both local guys.
Extreme rules.
Yeah.
The funny thing is, when Mark and I went to that show in New York, the guy in the row behind us kept yelling at either Sammy or Owens.
Sammy.
It was Sammy. He's like, "Go back to Toronto." And I told him, like, he's from Montreal, right?
Yeah, they're both local. So. All right, so guys, thanks for watching. Again, this is Big Papa Brian.
Peace out, guys.
And Mike Rangley, LilC, a.k.a., and me, Guersan. So thanks for watching, guys, and we'll see you guys later. By the way, make sure you subscribe to everyone. The links are going to be down below. Thanks, guy. Ciao.
Thanks, guys.
Later, guys.